Ottawa has delayed the review of its tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles that was expected to be released today. 1 year ago today, in fact, Canada put a 100% tariff on Chinese EVs, accusing China of dumping cheap cars into other countries. But what's happened since? Well, from China's retaliation on Canadian canola to the Canada-U.S. trade war is leading some experts to call for the tariff to be adjusted. So for more on where Canada's EV strategy towards China could go next, we're joined by Addisu Lashitu, Associate Professor of Strategic Management at McMaster University. Good morning.
Good morning.
Finance Minister Champagne's press secretary says there's no specific date for when this review of the tariff is going to be completed. So what factors could be driving this pause?
Yes, so I think the costs of the tariff on Canada are apparent by now, and the government seems to be considering pausing them. But they have not made a firm declaration on when they would do that or provided a timeline. That's, I think, has to do with the ongoing trade talks with the United States. After the tariffs part, Canada is undertaking a trade talk to renegotiate some of the trade agreements with the U.S. The Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement is also expiring after 6 years in next year, and that is leading to a review of the current performance of the agreement. So that will have an important effect on the tariff policy as well. I think the pause, although not officially declared, it is being considered, but it has not been confirmed for obvious reasons of not offending the U.S. amidst trade talks.
You know, everything to do with trade these days seems to be in motion, and this piece is no exception. Back in September, you wrote a piece in The Conversation where you said Canada's EV tariff on China is misaligned with Canada's long-term interests. Why do you think that?
Yes, so I think what's happening is that after the trade spat in the past few months, Canada is considering realigning its trade policy, partly leading away from the U.S. But the tariffs, if you look at the effects, what they're doing is undercutting competition and increasing our dependence on the U.S. In Europe, Chinese automakers dominate the marketplace, but actually in Canada, American EV makers, which were dominant in the beginning, are even gaining momentum. I think it's slowing down our climate transition goals, but at the same time, increasing our dependence on the states as well. That's why I think it's time to reconsider that policy.
You know, consumers look at this from a cost perspective, and the cost of an electric car in countries where Chinese EVs are sold is far less than in countries where they are not, of course, because they drive down the price. So in Iceland, for example, the Chinese-made BYD Dolphin is $26,000. In Canada, the Fiat 500e, one of the least expensive EVs in Canada, is $40,000. So is there a benefit from having access to cheaper EVs?
Yeah, I agree with you that Chinese EVs are much cheaper, but also more innovative and have many dynamic features. They are the leading producers of EV cars currently. And by shutting off ourselves from Chinese EVs, I think we're hurting consumers. Prices remain elevated in Canada, although they have stabilized recently. But EVs are in Canada, markets are really expensive. The average price of American EVs, which are mostly in sale in Canada, is more than $50,000 USD. That is twice as much as Chinese EVs. So consumers, of course, would appreciate much a reduction in prices from increased competition in the EV market.
I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. Interesting conversation, as we were expecting a review today, and now we don't know when it's coming out. Thanks so much for joining us, Addisu.
Thank you for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.